Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Josh Abrams, and again, we are doing Tim Harford's Undercover Economist, Chapter 10 How China Got Rich. Okay, so why was China so poor before the 80s? Because China had a centrally planned economy, not a market economy. Farmers didn't own land, um, and had to deliver the crops to the government. Uh, Workers earned the same pay regardless of effort, so there's no motivation to work hard. And just knowing that you got to turn your crops into the government essentially tells me that there's going to be a lack of motivation there, certainly. Um, and then the prices were set by the state, which led to shortages, inefficiency, innovation and competition were discouraged because everything was controlled by the government. Uh, and he explains that in the book, that the incentive structure basically punished effort, and rewarded doing the bare minimum, which resulted in low productivity, uh, weak agricultural output, and widespread poverty. As far as the rapid growth after the 80s, China changed its incentive structure, and that allowed people to benefit from their work, as it should be. Had a household responsibility system that let farmers keep and sell any excess crops beyond government quotas, right? Which means that when you can do that, people are going to put in that work to see uh, those extra gains on there. And agriculture productivity immediately increased. Harvard calls it the turning point. Um, the government also created special economic zones that allowed foreign investment and market competition. Private businesses were allowed to operate, encouraging entrepreneurship. Prices were slowly liberalized, letting supply and demand take over. China used the dual track system, which was partial planning plus partial markets, which minimized disruption. So you got incentives plus markets plus competition, and that equals rapid growth. Some things I found interesting were small local rule breaking farmers sparked the national economic reform, right? They secretly divided their lands even though it was illegal. China's reforms were gradual. Didn't happen all at once. They would experiment and expand the successful, policies they put in place. He emphasized that incentives drive behavior, um, whether in markets or planned economies. And China kept a tight political control while opening the economy. Um, the chapter, also showed that economic success is not about luck or natural resources, uh, but about good incentives and effective institutions. And I think this is a great example of that. Um, Closing before reforms, had wrong incentives and a low output. And when there's no incentives, that's what you're going to get. You know, uh, People are investing their time, their energy, their effort. They want to see those results. They want to see those results impact their family in positive ways. So after reforms, they had better incentives and massive growth. And I just think this is a fine example to show how powerful incentives are in shaping, economies. Thank you.